Hey Year 10, now we're up to 3E, which is revision or review of index laws. So it's a review, so hopefully we remember these index laws from um, previous lessons. But let's just go over some of them anyway. Now there's 6 laws, or pretty much 6 laws that we're going to be looking at here. There's a couple more, but we don't need to really use them just yet. Um, Alright, so let's just really briefly look at each of these and then we'll do a few exercises or examples down the bottom. Alright, so the first law, what we need to recognize is that we can combine these two, but only if the base is the same. So this here, A, is the base, and this is the power, so base and the power. Do we see how both of the bases are the same? In this case, they're A. They could be anything though, they could be any letter and any number, but if they're any letter or any number, we can combine them together. So hopefully we can see that the resulting kind of answer is the base, but then we're adding those two powers together. So m plus n. Yeah, and that's if we're timesing them together. Now, when it comes to divide, it's pretty similar, except instead of adding them together, we're subtracting them. Okay, so it's m minus n, or the first one minus the second one. All right, let's look at rule 3. Okay, now inside the brackets, we've got a base and a certain power, but then outside the brackets, we've got another power. So this whole thing inside here is to the power of n. What would happen in this case is it would be the power inside here times the power outside here. So as we can see, it's a to the power of m times n, whatever m times n ends up being. All right, so with this next one, law number 4, we've got sort of two things inside the brackets. So an A and a B, it could be anything. This could be 3, and this could be any letter, so B as well. What happens is this power actually applies to both of them in there. So as you can see, the resulting answer is A to the power of m times B to the power of m. See how that m applied to both of them? Now it's super similar, or it is super similar for law number 5. We've got a fraction inside, we've got a power on the outside of the brackets. That power has to apply to both of the things inside here. So as we can see, the answer gives us a to the power of m divided by b to the power of m, which is just over here. And the 6th law, this is super important. We've got a written down here as the base, but no matter what the base is, if it's to the power of 0, the answer is 1. So if we have 5 to the power of 0, the answer is 1. If we have 100 to the power of 0, the answer is 1. If we have y to the power of 0, the answer is 1. Anything to the power of 0, the answer is 1. Okay, so let's use some of these laws to answer these questions. Now, actually, I might slide that there so you can see the laws at the same time. Now, this one here, we've got two bases that are the same times each other. So it looks like we're going to be using law 1. Okay, so that's going to end up giving us x to the power of 3 plus 4. So the answer is x to the power of 7. Done. Now let's go to B, and that's using law number 2. So we have a certain base divided by that same base. So that's going to be x to the power of 4 minus 2. So that gives us x squared as our answer. All right, let's go to the next one, which is law 3. Hopefully we can see that these are very similar here. Now that's supposed to be an A, it looks a bit dodgy. What happens is these two are going to be times each other, as we can see up here with this law. So it's going to be 3 A times 5. So the answer is 3 to the power of 5A. Done. Now, the next one here, that's the next law. See, there's two things inside. There's a 5 and there's an A. There's a squared on the outside. That squared has to apply to both of these things. So it's going to be 5 squared times A squared, which will give us 25A squared. Done. Alright, so let's do the next two. I'll just try to show those laws as well. Alright, so we've got a fraction inside the brackets. We need this cubed to apply to both of them. So it will end up being x to the power of 3 divided by 3 to the power of 3. And 3 to the power of 3 is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. Cool. And over here, anything to the power of 0 is 1. Finished. Alright, now with all those ones that we've done so far, we're only using one of those index laws. But as we can see here, it looks like there's heaps going on. Okay, so we're probably going to have to use a few different laws to sort this out, which we've got written here. So sometimes when we're simplifying, we'll need to use multiple rules. What I like to do is kind of consolidate everything up the top and consolidate everything down the bottom, and then start cancelling things out. So let's sort of do that. So I can see that we've got a set of brackets here, and there's a 3 on the outside. So that 3's got to apply to both of these. So that might be the first thing that I do. I'm just going to leave the rest so you can sort of see what I'm doing part by part rather than doing it all at the same time. So let's see, yeah, 3 there. This is going to become m to the power of 2 times 3, which is 6. And then n to the power of 1 times 3, which is 3. There we go. So we've sort of got rid of those brackets there. Now let's just look at the top and combine all this stuff. Okay, so what I like to do is look at the things that are similar. So we've got some normal numbers, we've got some m's, and we've got some n's. Let's just look at the normal numbers first. So 4 times 3 is going to be 12. M squared times m to the power of 6, we need to go back to the first law. So that's going to be m to the power of 2 plus 6, so m to the power of 8. Now let's focus on the end. So we've got n to the power of 1 and n to the power of 3. If we add them together, 1 plus 3, if we times them together, the powers will add. 1 plus 3 is 4. And let's leave the bottom as it is for now. See how it's, whoops, there you go, that should be a better view for you. See how it looks way smaller now? We've kind of put everything together. Now let's, again, focus on just the things that are similar. So let's just look at the numbers and then the m's and then the n's. Now, we can use those index laws before, or we are going to, but hopefully we can remember that you can sort of cancel things out as well. So we have 12 divided by 6, which is 2. M to the power of 8 divided by m to the power of 2. Remember, you can sort of cancel these things out. So that can go, and you're taking 2 away from that 8, so that's going to become 6 here. So we've got m to the power of 6. And over here, we've got n to the power of 4 divided by n to the power of 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. So n to the power of 3. Done. So that should be our answer just there. Now these ones can be a little bit tricky because there's so many laws at once, but that's okay. Do your best for now. It might be a little bit easier for us to go over this a little bit more when we're back face to face. Alright, have you got the questions that are listed in your lesson plan? Thank you guys.